Just for those who are aware of what our program is going to look like, is that at the end there will be taps, there will be a tolling of the bell, and the flag behind me, which is flown at an American base in Afghanistan, will rise and then go to half-staff. First Sergeant John Dougherty first entered military service in 1979, enlisting as a Marine infantryman. He served in various leadership positions during his tour of duty, completing 6 separate overseas deployments. Spurred on by his personal experiences on 9/11, he returned to military service, enlisting in the New York Army National Guard. He was selected to serve as platoon sergeant with the 101st Cavalry while deployed to Afghanistan. His military resume is long, impressive, filled with multiple awards, medals, and citations, and because he never talks about them, you need to actually engage in active research to appreciate that this is an American who puts our nation above all else. If I were an enemy of freedom, I would be very, very frightened of First Sergeant John Dougherty.
Thank you very much. Special thank you to the politicians scheduled here today, veterans, public, and my brother warriors from Task Force Phoenix, Afghanistan 2008. Thanks for coming. I'd be remiss in my first sergeant duties if I didn't say, drink water. It's hot. No one drops. Got that? All right, so why are we here today? We're here today to salute the veterans of Afghanistan and Iraq. We're also here to support all veterans. You know, veterans, we like to razz each other. Which service is the best? You know, I get 2 services. I've been 2, so I can play that game. Or, you know, which generation had it the hardest? But at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, when a brother and sister is in pain, veterans come out for each other. They come out and they help heal each other. And that is why we're here today. This is one of those times. You know, veterans don't serve, you know, for political reasons. We're not here today to talk about, as someone's been said, we're not here to talk about political decisions or policies. The only decision we're here to make, speak about rather, is the commitment each and every veteran made when they decided to put their life on the line to serve our country, our Constitution, and their brothers and sisters in arms. We know no color, no creed, no background. We serve to protect each other. These are my brothers for life. All you veterans are my brothers for life. We could not do what we do without the help of our great politicians too, especially here in Nassau County. I just want to take a quick moment. I don't think a lot of people realize the part the reservists and National Guard forces have had in the global war on terror. You know, in fact, on that fateful day of 9/11, it was New York National Guardsmen who were some of the first on the pile in a desperate attempt to find live bodies. They deployed after that to the war on terror. In fact, 45% of all the troops engaged in Afghanistan and Iraq were guardsmen and reservists. 20% of the casualties incurred in those wars were citizen soldiers. 41% of the combat arms element of our military is made up of guardsmen and reservists, men and women who have regular jobs but put that down to serve. They stand ready and have made multiple deployments, putting their lives on hold, all in defense of what they believe in, the American way of life. American way of life is not a blue thing, it's not a red thing. It's a red, white, and blue thing, all right? So once again, I know it's hot, I'm gonna cut this short. Thank you very much for coming out here. And to all my brothers, anyone ever needs anything, please reach out to each other. And just thanks again for coming out. You know, together we can conquer everything. Divided, we fall victim to the pain. Thanks again to Gary. Thank you very much.
Tom Nicholson spent 9 years with Bravo Company, part of Fighting 69th. During his tour of Afghanistan, he's never far from his fellow veterans, for today he works at the Northport Veterans Affairs Medical Center. Please welcome Tom. He has an important message regarding that need to reach out. Tom.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm going to make this short and sweet and not much of a speaker, just an infantryman.
Nothing better.
A little bit bang bang.
Yes, sir. I truly appreciate you all coming out to this event in support of our noble cause in which we gave so much to. It truly takes a noble, brave person to leave the comforts, of home here in the United States to go serve in a place where the outcome may be never coming back. We did many great things over there, building schools, giving women the rights they've never had before, and having the chance to vote for the first time ever. Every post-9/11 deployed veteran have a bond with each other, the bond of answering the call of the bugle against an enemy willing to sacrifice himself just to inflict as much chaos and terror as possible. I would also like to give thanks for all the families of the war and terror veterans, especially who have lost a loved one in this past 20 years of war. We love you all, and your sacrifice and the fallen's legacy will never be forgotten. I would like to thank you all for coming out. The love and support I would like to end with a quote from our late great President John F. Kennedy, which is, "Ask not what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country." Enjoy the rest of this beautiful day, everybody. Thank you again for coming out.
Did you notice something about his delivery, y'all? Was that me? Because I know he's from Wantagh, which is South Nassau County. Y'all? Okay. Tom, that works for me. During World War II, there was considerable coverage of the home front, the men and women who either had boys in the Army or went to the defense plants not far from here. Today's home front may not be as visible, but it has never been as important. Please welcome a representative of every military family, Fred Seitz, a proud and articulate Blue Star parent. Fred?
Good afternoon. Proud, yeah. Articulate, maybe not. First, before I begin, I would like to thank the gentleman to my left for their service to our country and any other veteran that happens to be in the audience today. Politicians to my right, and to any Vietnam veterans that may be in here. The only two words I can say to you are welcome home. 20 years ago last week, on a September morning, the United States was brutally attacked without warning by Islamic militants. As a direct result, many brave American men and women answered their country's call and began enlisting in the military. One of those brave men was my oldest son, who currently serves in the United States Air Force. My name is Frederick Seitz, and that is how my wife Sandy and I became Blue Star parents. A few years ago, I was on my way home from work one evening and I stopped at the local supermarket. And as I was waiting in line to pay for the groceries, I noticed a young woman with her kids standing there looking at me and looking at the Blue Star service pin. So finally, I must have got the better of her because she asks, "What does that mean?" So I said, "Well, it's a Blue Star service pin, and it stands for a member of my family, my son, who's currently overseas." So she looked at me and she goes, "Oh, I see that around, but I really have no idea what that was." So when I left the store, I decided to write this because many people don't know what this pin means. And like you say, you see it on cars and on clothing, but it's just a pin. The Blue Star banner is a simple blue star on a white background bordered in red. It's usually worn as a pin or a banner or a flag on a person's home. On the back of a car, you'll see a sticker on the car. But the thing is that a lot of Americans really have no idea what that means. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of Americans don't even know that a war was even being fought. You know, our guys are out in the mud, and they're at the mall. Basically, the Blue Star banner is a symbol that a family uses to honor their family member serving. It's a symbol of both a family's pride and a family's sacrifice. There's usually one blue star displayed on the banner for each family member currently serving, and it's not uncommon to see a banner with more than one star. Being a Blue Star parent is many things. It is pride and it is honor of having my son step up and serve our country during a time of war. Not just my son, not just only my son, or the thousands of other brave men and women who stepped up and wear the uniform, but of their families as well. It's also a symbol of sacrifice. is what kind of sacrifice does that be? Well, it's birthdays, family events. You know, it's empty chair at a holiday table. It's the American flag I have displayed in front of my home. It's a yellow ribbon I have on a lamppost. And I put those up there to not only for my son when he's away, but for everyone else's sons and daughters when they're away as well. It's not being able to watch the news one second and not being able to tear yourself away the next because of what's going on. It's trying to be strong. It's my wife holding a picture of my son during family photos so that we're complete. Sometimes I try to be the strong one, but the whole time I just want to fall apart myself. But, you know. And it's fear. It's fear of an unexpected knock at the door. It's a nameless and faceless fear that you really can't put a finger on, but you feel it. And it's powerful, and it's stressful, and it's numbing. This is the fear we deal with every day. I hear people say, my son is away at college, and we miss him too. Isn't it the same thing? I say that when I hear that, it makes my blood run cold. As I try to keep my tongue in check, I usually respond with a firm no. It's not even close to being the same. My son is in Afghanistan, or Iraq, or Syria, or Libya, which we're not supposed to be there. Psst, we are. Places people actively want to kill him. Your son or daughter can come home any weekend they want while they're out getting drunk at the local watering hole. You're washing their dirty clothes. So no, it's not the same. And the Air Force told my son how to wash his own clothes, so we never had that problem. How do you deal with that is another question I hear often, and the answer, however, is very simple. And I think any Blue Star parent or military parent would say pretty much tell you the same thing. You just do it. Our sons and daughters enlisted or volunteered to serve, but we, as parents and families, we were the ones who were drafted. My wife Sandy and I do this to support our son. We do it for ourselves to mutually support each other so we can support our son, and we do it for our beloved country. To help us cope. We volunteer and help other military families deal with the same stresses we deal with. We are members of the Blue Star Mothers of America, the Soldiers Angels, and the Patriot Guard. All three are service organizations devoted to the support of our veterans, our military, and their families. This is how we deal with it, how we all deal with it. Another thing I have to remember is, no matter how tough it is being a Blue Star parent, there are families who display a star of a different color, and that's a gold star. When you see this star, you need to know that that family has lost their loved one. They, like their beloved son or daughter, have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. As tough and stressful as I think being a Blue Star parent can be, I can't even imagine what my Gold Star brothers and sisters go through every day, how they even get up in the morning. If I could, I would ask each one of us here one simple favor. Please keep our soldiers, our Marines, our sailors, our airmen, and our Coast Guard in your thoughts and in your prayers. It is because of them and the jobs they do and the sacrifices they make daily that we are able to enjoy the freedoms we have as Americans. The American warrior does not fight because he hates who's in front of him. He fights because he loves who's behind him. Thank you.